Hey and welcome, msKIRAspeaks. Before we get started, I ask that you watch the videos till the end, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. We are here for an episode of Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, Season 19, Episode 1, Welcome to Boot Camp. Marriage Boot Camp is back, y'all, and I'm not quite sure why they call it Marriage Boot Camp since only one couple on the show is married, but okay. They did the same thing last season. Speaking of last season, we learned with the new C-19 protocols that the couples have to quarantine in a hotel room for 14 days prior to entering the house. We get a look at our first of four couples. It's Mariah, Lynn, and Dollaz from Love and Hip Hop, New York. Rich is talking about working at Bad Boy when Mariah chimes in, and the leader of the Creep Squad. Sidebar. Did you guys see Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion where these grown behind men were running around with shirts that said Creep Squad? But anywho, Mariah Lynn tells us she is a songwriter, rapper, icon. Sis been watching too much TikTok. She's known for Once Upon a Time I Was Up. These two are the first to arrive at the house, and they've been together for a long time. She says 9 years. He says 10. Rich says they've been together a long time and said a bunch of mean things and done things that they can't get over. Yet they still find their way back to each other. In their confessional, she says he doesn't like to claim her. And if you are a Love and Hip Hop fan, you are all well aware of this. Makes you ask yourself, are they a real couple or are they just here for the dollars? So he says no excessive drinking. Let's have a good 2 weeks. She points out in her confessional, they're not married, no ring, they don't live together, they have a lot of work to do, and it's now or never. Our next couple is A1 and Lyrica, also from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Now, last I heard, these two were headed for divorce. TMZ reported in January that Lyrica had filed. They could be divorced by now for all we know, but A1 says he had some good family time with his wife, but no sex. Gone are his locks, and his nail polish, and his pearls, and he is looking rough. They're next to arrive at the house. Lyrica is a singer, songwriter, and she says she's written songs for Beyonce, Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, to name a few. A1, he is a producer, songwriter, and artist. He's produced, wrote songs for Chris Brown, Drake, French Montana, and more. They've been married for 5 years and together for 10 total. They have a little boy named Ocean. In the confessional, Lyrica brings up A1 and their infidelity issues. She says she doesn't know how many times he's cheated, but that was the last thing that broke them up. She moved out and now she lives alone, and the two, they share time with Ocean. So she wants to know if there's a light at the end of the tunnel or if their marriage is going to continue. He says he knows he messed up, and he's there to see if he could put his family back together. The next couple is Gangsta Boo and Emmet. Gangsta Boo is from the group 3-6 Mafia, which have tons of collabs under their belts. Emmet, aka Souza, says he's a rapper and a podcast host. They met while they were on tour. He was opening for 3-6 Mafia. She says 7 years later, they're still here, but she needs that piece of paper. And I was wondering, does she have any kids? Because she's up there. She's like around my age. And I don't think she does. Or maybe she doesn't want any. So let me stay out of that lady's uterus. Anyway, in her confessional, he says if she wants him to marry her, she needs to stop bossing him around and check her attitude. Lola, her real name, which I absolutely love, by the way, says she is a BWA and a boss. And that's just how she do. So she asked Mariah and Rich what they're working on. Trust, Mariah Lynn says. Rich says respect. They all, agree that they're looking for mutual respect when the last couple comes in. The last couple is Michelle, also from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and LA. She also has had her own reality show and she hosts Killer Body. And her boyfriend Kastan. She tells us she is an R&B singer with 4 #1 albums on the Billboard. She is the first African American ever endorsed by Jack Daniels. Come on, Black Girl Magic. Her significant other, she's like, and he's a dentist. And I mean, the way she said it was just very blah. He kind of looking at her like. They've known each other since high school and they've been dating for 5 years. She wanted someone who was a success, but not in her industry, that had their own career. She says she is ready to start a family. And then I'm like, doesn't she have a child already, or am I tripping? And then I was like, you know what? Let me run my Googles. K. But Michelle, she does. Little boy. So he's saying they're both getting older and they need to make decisions about their future. She says she's getting older, but this body is new, and she got a new hot pocket. I was like, ew. And she did finally get her body back together. We know she's been through tons of plastic surgery, and finally, you know, her body's looking right. It's not looking all lumpy and bumpy. Don't do that, Kira. Anyway, Gangsta Boo asks why they're there, and Kay says she's, you know, determining the future. In her confessional, Lyrica brings up that there's a history between her, Kay, and A1. And child, I was thinking at the moment that Michelle walked in, I said, we TV, y'all are messy for that, but I am watching. So Lyrica was opening for Kay, and she was late, and there was some words between them on social media and on the show. And Michelle also, I believe, exposed Lyrica for cheating in her marriage. Lyrica says, you know, she wasn't tripping when she saw her. She figured she was there to work on her relationship also. So, you know, the two ladies, they start talking about their nails. They're keeping it cute. And in his confessional, Rich is like, I was happy to see someone else here who would bring the drama and not just the two of them. So in Kay's confessional, she says, you know, if they've had some issues before, they squashed it, and the house, you know, it will be quiet because this is a train wreck. So the couples, they go outside and they talk, you know, talking about quarantine, and A1 brings up, you know, he didn't get any. Asking why he hasn't had any in 4 months. 4 months? That's a while, Gangsta Boo says. He admits he slipped up again, Lyrica adds. So she split and moved out. Losing her this time around made him question what he was doing with his life. He was not putting his family first, and he wants to get it right. In the confessional, Lyrica basically says she needs more than words. She's heard it all before, like Sunshine Anderson. He's always apologizing, breaking up to make it up. And she basically needs to see actions. Rich says there must be reconciliation, you know, or they wouldn't be there. Or they're there for a paycheck, like y'all. But anywho, welcome to boot camp. Please report to the boot camp room. So the couples, they join Dr. Ish, and the room is set up like a courtroom. The ladies are on one side and the fellas are on the other. Who is there to save their relationship? And I think everybody raised their hands. The process starts now. It's a community experience. Ish and Judge will hold them accountable, and they want them, they want them to hold each other accountable also. So Judge told her she comes in and she joins them, and Gangsta Boo, she takes her shades off, and I said, okay, respect. Gangsta Boo and Emmet are up first, and it turns out Emmet has a little crush on the judge. So Judge tells them today, they're here to tell her and Ish what it is they want from them for the future of their relationship and for their future as individuals. Lola says she wants him to hear her voice as a black woman. He cuts her off when she's talking, and while she's talking the whole time, he's just thinking about what his reply is, and he laughs. And I was wondering why she brought up her being a black woman in particular. Like, are they having troubles as an interracial couple? Because I know that's a thing, or I don't know. The part where she said black just kind of was like, question mark. So Judge asked him why he's there. Communication and anger. He gets pretty mad really fast. Judge asked if GB has any anger issues. Affirmative. Do you think she's controlling? For sure. She turns the question to GB. And ma'am says, I don't help him go to the bathroom and pee. People in the background, they laughing. And Judge says there are a lot of levels of control between that. So they play a clip of Emmet, who's saying, she's constantly monitoring him. They talk at the house, and then if he's going to the grocery store, on the way to the store, he gets a phone call. Then on the way home, he gets another phone call. I said to myself, damn, girl, she thinks it's cute. Dr. Ish has to point out, but Emmet doesn't. He don't think it's cute. So they play a clip of her saying she needs communication, and brings up him walking around, ignoring her, not making eye contact. Judge asks if they fight fair. GB says her tongue is her weapon. Most people don't fight fair, and that's why I love this show that tries to give you the tools to fight fair, because there's certain things that you're not supposed to say in an argument and a relationship, and a lot of us violate those every day. Emmet says he has a lot of insecurities, and when she says certain things, she emasculates him. He has insecurities about his manhood growing up without a dad. She says him being dismissive doesn't make her feel secure, and she loses respect for him. Judge points out that they both have communication issues, and they need to find the underlying issues that caused the argument. K, Michelle, and Caston are up next. K. Michelle says she has everything planned out, and she's here because she needs to know where they're going. He says he is there for growth and understanding, and maybe come up with some better tools to communicate better. Very general. I'm a general dentist. Child. He says he can't think of anything specific that needs to be worked on. Now, I don't know if he was bullshitting or just... Let's just move on. So they roll the video footage, and in the video, he says she wants marriage and kids and to travel the world and be a mogul. And he points out Oprah doesn't have a family. That was a sacrifice that had to be made. He wants clarity in order to move forward. So the judge, she points out that Oprah comment, and she says, you don't believe that she can do both. Certain things are going to be compromised, and he's not sure what those are. In her confessional, Kay says she can be a mother and a mogul, and no one can take that away from her. Judge asks what she sees in her future. Kay says she wants twins. They've done IVF 3 times. She keeps getting boy embryos, and she wants 2 little girls. Sis is like me. She is just probably destined to be a boy mom because she already has a son, and it's just tough. She may want to just accept 1 and 1 if she can get that, but at this point, she's close to my age. She's in her 40s, so she needs to hurry up and make a decision before, mama can't have no babies. And I know at one point, I think she just tried to have a surrogate, if I'm not mistaken. So anywho, then she starts rambling and talking about she wants a picket fence, and she wants to grow ish, and she wants a farm, and she wants a goat, and she wants a pink llama. A pink llama? I mean, at least her dreams are clear. So, everybody is talking on the side about this damn pink llama. And she continues that she wants land where she can sing country music and not be bothered. And Judge is like, what color is the house? And of course, she has an answer. So basically, what she's looking for is a man to just insert into her own little fairy tale. And I hate to call it that. In the confessional, A1 points out that Kay is asking for all these material things, but not once is she mentioning love. Wow, that's a lot, especially coming from him. So K. Michelle says she's dated super rich men before that left her with nothing. She will never depend on a man for anything. She will always strategically plan out her life and her bag. And as a single mom, I am not mad at how Kay feels, but at the same time, therapy is needed, sis. And I hope that she'll be able to get some while she's there. So we take a look at her footage. She says she's known Cass since high school, and she feels that he tricked her as, this really nice, wholesome guy. And then by the middle of the relationship, he's having a conversation saying that all men cheat. That's the reason they're not married, because he knows if he gets caught cheating, that she's going to take everything from him. And that little that you just saw a minute ago, that was me waving my red flag, because I don't know, when anytime a man hits you with that all man cheat type of thing, side eye, sis, side eye. So Judge says Kay knows what she wants and the guy that she wants it with, and he knows what he wants, and he's cool with the way things are. And when I tell you, Judge hits it on every single time. She don't miss. The change is what's going to be difficult. Can she accept what he's able to give, and is he able to give what she's willing to accept? So Lyrica and A1 are up next, and Lyrica's there to see if there's a possibility that she can even possibly try this again. He is there because he has unconditional love for his wife, and he wants to save it, child. We couldn't tell. Judge asked Lyrica if she thinks under the right circumstances, she'll be able to forgive him. She says she can forgive him. Judge asked A1 if he agrees, and he says he thinks she can forgive, but she can't forget. And he's not saying that she has to forget, because that's hard and she's human. But don't antagonize me and put it in my face every second you get, Lyrica says, and don't keep doing the same stuff over and over like a 2-year-old. In her confessional, K. Michelle says A1 is wrong. Once you cheat and you betray that, it is very difficult to get that trust back and to get that woman back that was there for you 100%. So in her video footage, Lyrica says she can't take the cheating anymore. Child, we know it's rough. Trust me, I totally understand where she's coming from. When you keep damaging the love by repeating the same problem, it can make you pull back on how much you love a person. So the person that's interviewing her asks if she's, still in love with him. Lyrica's like, she doesn't know anymore. So Judge asked Lyrica if she thinks A1 takes appropriate responsibilities for his part in their marital problems. She doesn't think he does. She asked him why he keeps stepping out of their marriage, and, and he don't want to let her go. His reason for the last infidelity was he was in a dark place, he was depressed, and he was drinking. Not good enough. Judge asked A1 if he thinks he could be a faithful partner. He says he knows he can. So how come it's been so difficult to date? The trust on both ends are gone, he says. They've both done wrong. They've both stepped out. For some reason, hers don't count. Lyrica says she never stepped out. Anytime she's dealt with someone else, she was completely out of the house. And Rich in his confessional says Lyrica is splitting hairs and that cheating is cheating. Now, guys, please let me know. Do you agree with Rich Dollaz? Do you think that it's about the intention? Or if you're legally married and you're not legally separated and you're not divorced, is it safe to say that, it's cheating? Please let me know. Drop it down in the comments. So we see A1's video footage and he says they've been separated for 3 or 4 months. They don't live together and neither knows where the other lives. And I say, well, how are y'all doing a visitation with Ocean? But I guess, there's ways that could be worked out too. But I was just curious. So he says either they're going to work it out or they're not. If it's a no, he's going to move very quickly with a divorce. So GB, somehow she got her shades back on and she starts snoring. So Dr. Ishi has to call her out and she takes her shades off and she apologizes. She's like, it's been a long day, but she's very respectful and she apologizes and they move forward. Judge says they have a lot on the line with issues that have existed for over a decade that are so intrinsic to who they are that she doesn't think they're really ever talking about the same thing. So Rich and Mariah Lynn are up last and I'm like, oh, baby looks like she needs a little bit of sun. Anywho, Judge asked Rich why he's there. He says it's been 10 years. After a certain amount of time, you want to know exactly what's going on. Obviously, something brings you back to one another. Is the reason something of longevity or just habit? Judge asked Mariah Lynn why she wanted to come with him. It's now or never. She needs to know that she's getting 100% or none at all. So in Rich's footage, he is talking about doing a bunch of things that she would consider cheating. Judge asked Rich who he thinks has caused the most pain in the relationship. Hurt comes from a place of who you are and the damage that you've encountered. Dr. Ish asked him if he thinks she's damaged. She's very, very, very damaged. Ouch, Rich, really? Is she too damaged for you? Ish asked. We're here. Sir is over 10 years older than her. Not that the age means anything, but it's really the audacity for me. Because these men will sit there and call you damaged, but child, let me not get my pressure up. Dr. Ish asked when Rich does these things, how does it make her feel? And she says, I feel like I am a little less than you. And child, I just wanted to cry for her. That's a miserable way to make somebody feel. So we see video footage of Mariah Lynn, and she says her biggest issue is him not saying how he feels publicly. Maybe he's posted a picture of her one time. It makes her feel like, what, are you hiding me? In Case Confessional, she says Mariah Lynn, her concerns are valid. The worst thing you can do to a woman is not claim her. As a woman, you're supposed to be adored. And I agree with her. If they can't claim you in public, you need to keep it pushing. Wave that red flag, y'all. So Judge asked, are you proud of her? Is she your main thing? No, he's not proud of everything. Some things disgust him. So in his confessional, Rich says that at this point in his life, he wants to settle down and have a real relationships. And he hopes that this can be something that really lasts his time. And I mean, again, we couldn't tell. So for their rooms, they're a set of 4 keys. We have the Player Palace, we have the Combat Zone, we have the Fairy Tale, Failures, and VIP. Damn, I didn't write down what VIP stands for. I probably this later in my notes. Anyway, they're specific to each one of their relationships. As a group, they will decide which label belongs to which couple. So they decide that Gangsta Boo and Emmet, they get Combat Zone. Mariah Lynn and Rich get Player Palace. Michelle and Caston get Fairy Tale, Failure. Lastly, A1 and Lyrica get VIP. I did write it down, which stands for vain, immature, and petty. I'll put it on the screen for y'all. So the couples, they head on up to their rooms, and you know how this goes. If you want to see how the actual rooms look, go look at the show, because I'm not about to break down every single solitary thing. But we know in each room, there's going to be a picture with them with a quote on the wall of the most horrible thing that they have ever said to each other. So Mariah Lynn wants us to know that she's never had sex in a vehicle. Well, at least with Rich. And I was just like, because his comment was something to the effect of, she's the type of girl you have with the have sex with in the back seat. He's a hot mess, and I don't know why she keeps fooling around with him. I wouldn't even give you none. So K. Michelle, she loves her room until she realizes that the crown on her side of the bed is a broken crown. So she starts talking about wanting to have kids. And he don't, he's like, we have 9 days. Can we wait? And she says he always likes to push things off. And there's another red flag. You don't know if you want me to be the mother of your kids. He says it's not something he would know. Well, sir, who would? Who would know then? Child. And I kind of tuned out. After them because Kaz, he's not here for it at all. And I'm calling it right now. The only couple that has real potential in my eyes is Gangsta Boo and Emmet. So we're going to follow up at the end of the season and see if I'm right. Anyway, so he finally manages to say he thinks she would be a great mom. And it doesn't seem that Cass is comfortable being in a celebrity relationship. He says it's difficult when folks always want to be in their business, and that he preferred to have couples therapy in private and not have his business in front of the whole country. 5 years, sir. Clearly you've chose wrong. So Dr. Ish, he comes in to talk to them. He asks, if it weren't for the idea of a fairy tale family that you want, would you be here fighting for this relationship? And Kay says she doesn't want to be with someone that doesn't know her worth. So that's a no. He asks Cass if he wants a baby, and he's like, he does at some point, but at the very moment right now, he's not ready for it. So Dr. Ish brings to light, he asks, did you hear what he says? And she says yes, and he brings to light that they just want, two different things at this point. And Kay says that she never even considered that his fairy tale wasn't hers. As they continue to talk, K. Michelle says she doesn't think that men are good people. She's been through a lot. We've seen it on the show, abuse and so forth and so on. And Dr. Ish talks about settling with someone that makes you feel safe, but then your heart is feeling like it's being cheated. And that, he's telling the two of them, Tamar Braxton, you don't want them pieces. You want the whole person. You don't want just the crumb. So we see Dr. Ish, and he goes to Lyrica and A1's room for a chat, and they talk about their particular quote on the wall, because she says something like she hoped he died. Dr. Ish asks if they were this mean before the cheating, and Lyrica says no, and let's not call it mutual cheating. And Dr. Ish, he wants to talk about it because they don't have a shared reality when it comes to the cheating. She says every time they broke up, she thought it was really over. And, that's her justification for stepping it out and not calling it cheating. I'm not about to argue with her. I'm not in a relationship with her. Dr. Ish wants him to know what the feeling inside he's fighting for and figure out a way to get it without screwing up his life and the things that mean things to you. He says, he knows what it is when it comes to sex. He can't just get what he wants. And Dr. Ish is like, she's not your possession for you to just get any time. He's like, that's not what I mean. But basically what he means is that the sex comes with conditions. And child, we're grown. Everything comes with conditions at this point. Lyrica doesn't want to be blamed for the infidelity because they're having this whole conversation, and she's saying it's not her, and Dr. Ish kind of agrees that it's not her. It's what he feels. It's something inside of him, and that's how we've gotten to this point. And because there was, I can't remember what the exact wording was. Oh my God. Think. It was like something about before the cheating. And basically Lyrica said he has never been faithful in the relationship. So Lyrica, she's not listening. A1 wasn't really listening either. And Dr. Ish is trying to convey that, something was missing for him. She says, stop trying to get me back. She feels like he's blaming her, and that, saying that she pushes him away. And A1, he gets up to walk away. Every season we got one trying to leave, y'all. And she tells him to get out. And it's clear to see the communication between these two is definitely been lacking. In his confessional, A1 is angry. He says, Lyrica is making this whole thing one-sided because he messed up. She doesn't seem to see anything else. She doesn't want to hear anything else. Nothing he says matters. She just cares about how she's viewed. So Dr. Ish, he's trying to get them to have a meaningful conversation. A1 just keeps saying, we're done. It's one-sided. We're done. And that is basically where we end. So what did you guys think of the episode? How do you feel about the new couples this season? Please put your thoughts down in the comments. I'm going to try to stick with this one, guys, because It seems that everybody loves, these reality show TV reviews. I kind of jumped ship a little bit on growing hip hop because it was not giving what needs to be gave. But I probably will go back and fill in the episodes periodically when I get a chance. So, keep your notifications on and check my playlist because your girl keeps everything in a playlist for your easy access. So if you have made it this far, put that holding your head emoji down in the comments because they done already started with the foolishness this season. I hope you'll come back and join me for my review of episode 2. And while you're here, please check out some of my other content. Thank you. Before you go, like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate y'all. Peace.